What is going on, members of the Shy Guys squad, and welcome to the VPL or Valhalla Pokemon League draft analysis. This is the first time that I will be your head coach of the Roseradenborg. I am excited as this is the first time we're using the new team logo that I'm super stoked about. You guys can see it over the Regirack. Now, this is the draft analysis. You guys can see a general of the team, but I will cover it. There's some monsters that you can slightly see, some monsters are missing, but I will explain my thought process and how the draft went down. So, let's just jump on over to the team builder real quick and jump into our first Pokemon. Now, first, I want to cover real quick how the draft went down. So, in the VPL, which will be the league that we're in right now, has a very unique draft system with a funny little action called Snipe Action. So basically, if you're later on in the draft, you can assure yourself of a good Pokemon. So for example, this league follows Smogon rules specifically, and like just a full-on Smogon rule with the UCL style draft. So Mega Metagross is allowed, and you know, naturally, to get an immunity for a round, you pick a Pokemon that's probably gonna get sniped, and then your second Pokemon that you decide to go with is safe, guaranteed. And I drafted Mega Metagross first, but that got sniped naturally because it's a Mega Metagross. Now hold on one sec. There we go. So, first mon I drafted was originally a Mega Metagross. I only drafted it though to get the immunity of that Pokemon because I wanted to be safe, so I couldn't get sniped anywhere else that round. Because there was a specific one that I wanted to try, which is this thing right here, Nova the Manaphy, which is called named after the Jenner from the TVU. Once again, I said it again, but I don't care. Named after the Jenner in TVU. His name goes by initial Nova or Jen or something like that. Maybe mispronounce it. I may miss it by a little bit, but you know, I felt like, you know, as a friend, I wanted to name it after him. So that is going to be the Manaphy. Now, Manaphy is a very interesting Pokemon as it is one of those pixies, you know, that has like base 100 across the board with base 100 HP, attack, defense, all that stuff. Now, Manaphy is a very good Pokemon in terms of coverage. It gets Ancient Power, gets those stat boosts, Calm Mind, Dazzling Gleam, Energy Ball, Grass Knot, it's a Cleric, Ice Beam, Knockoff, Psychic, Scald, best move in the game, Shadow Ball, Signal Beam, Surf, and this move right here, Tail Glow, raises the user's special attack by 3 stages. That means we go straight to +3. Using Tail Glow 2 times means you're +6. Manaphy is stupid in that sense. Can instantly get a fully powered, what's it called, like Scald or Ice Beam, whatever it needs to, after 2 turns. That is dumb. And then I'm probably going to be down, like Heart Swap is also a very interesting one. For example, if I'm playing a Megalodios that's more bulky, I can just steal its Calm Minds, because I play a Megalodios at some point. Heart Swap can just steal those. If you guys remember Blake, he stole my +1/+1 Megalodios and just took the +1 to himself and then tried to use that. Not that it really worked out for him though, but you got that. We get Psych Up so we can steal other opponents' attack stuff. We do have Swagger Claws, unfortunately we can use Supersonic. We get Skill Swap so we can take... we can cripple other Pokemon and, you know, just get good. Water Pulse, Whirlpool, we can trap stuff, so that's kind of fun. Just look at some movesets or moves that Manaphy gets. So I'm really looking forward to using this because this is a mod that I'm completely, like a mod that I completely don't know. I've used it a little bit, if you guys remember from the Dark Gengar back in the day. Season 1 of the MPL, we ended up having a Manaphy for a short amount of time. And then we traded it to Trip of the Dallas Taravias, which is also in this league. And because I couldn't make playoffs and I wanted to like get him as close as possible, and so I gave him Manaphy. I took Flygon, not the best trade in the world, of course, but he got Manaphy, and but by the time we had it, I felt like we used it well, but I feel like I can use it a lot better now because I'm a lot better of a battler than I was back in Season 1. I'm still not good, but I'm a lot better than I was back then. So I feel like we can use Manaphy pretty interestingly this season. Now, the next one I drafted was Jin, the Thundurus-I. You guys probably remember Jin from the from TBU. That was a fun mon to use. He has a very interesting Stat distribution. The outspeed's all base 110s, which is really funny. With the 111, I like his speed tier because the outspeed's like huge threats, but it still is kind of unfortunate because, you know, there's the what's it called? It's like Starmie, Scolipede, like anything above really. Like Thundurus has a good but awkward speed tier, if that makes sense. Like it is a really good one in the sense that it outspeeds all those base 100s and 110s. But then, like, Scolipede, what else beats Scolipede again? Like, except for, like, Starmie and stuff, Raikou, all the kind of things, like, above, Thundurus hurts it a lot. But its stats are not bad. 115 attack with the Define ability, so it can always be a very interesting surprise attacker. Like, it can take in Defog and then be a very, like, it can be a threat because it gets moves like Wild Charge, but we'll get into the moves later. But 79 HP, pretty decent. 115 attack, 70 defense, 125 special attack, which is what we'll be utilizing the most, 80 speed F, and 110 speed, or 111 speed, which rounds up to a base stat total of 580, but this is going to be a very fun mon to use that I'm looking forward to as I have some experience with this mon. Agility, Brick Break, Bulk Up, Dark Pulse and Crunch, Discharge, Flash Cannon to deal with those pesky fairies, Focus Blast for steel types and stuff. We get Foul Play in case we want to go that route. Like for example, there's a Mega Metagross. Foul Play will always be nice. Grass Knot for heavy mons, Hammer Arm just to, like, I don't know, it's a strong fighting move that lands more often than Focus Blast that we can rely on a bit. And of course, like we mentioned earlier, Thundurus' attack stat is not bad. Knockoff, of course, one of the best moves in the game, one of the most spammable moves in the game. Get Nasty Plot and Agility so we can do a double dance set. Psychic for the poison types and stuff, like Mega Venusaur. Sludge Bomb, Sludge Wave. Substitute, you can play around with that. Taunt to make sure that the prankster Pokemon don't do their job. Thunderbolt, Thunder, of course, Thunder Wave to utilize its prankster ability, Toxic as well, U-Turn and Volt Switch. So if my opponent has a ground type, I don't necessarily need Volt Switch, I can use U-Turn instead, and it's going to do something. And of course, like I mentioned earlier, Wild Charge, and it also gets some interesting moves down here like Charge Beam. Electro Web is going to be a funny one that I think we can use at some point. If we face off against a Crest, we can always use like Heal Block or something like that, that would be very funny. Iron Tail is also a thing, not that it's very reliable, but it's a thing. We get Thief, we can steal items, Smackdown, just in case, you know, like, it has an interest, and of course, who can forget Incinerate for, from MPL Season 2, the Incinerate Thundurus-I, that, Incinerate Thundurus-I for Mega Scizor, that was pretty fun. So yeah, maybe we can pull off some shenanigans, you never know. So, next up, we drafted the monster himself. Now, I don't have a name for him. I was thinking Squee, but at the same time, I'm not sure if I want to just name him Squee and just be like Azu. Could call him Nexus or whatever, but you guys can come up with a nickname for this thing if you really want to. I'm not decided to name on this thing. There's a couple of monsters that I might ask you guys for nicknames. Well, we got a Azumarill here. We're generally going to rely on its second ability, which is of course huge power, which is what makes Azu OU. But we also have Sap Sipper that we can rely on in case, or even Thick Fat if we want to be a defensive Azu. I feel like we're going to play a little bit around with this thing. And as we look at its stats, it's incredibly bulky, and it's a fairy type, and a water type as well. So it gives it a lot of like good resistances. So we got 100 HP, 80 defense, and 80 speed F. That is amazing. That's an amazing defensive stat. And Water Fairy is a pretty good defensive typing as well as an absolutely amazing offensive typing. 50 attack, which will be a double. So right here with huge power, we would have, like, if I do this 31, this equals like 272 physical attack or something like that. If I do my math right, and if I do this, this is the equivalent of 398. And if I do this, now I have 436 attack. Huge power is busted. Period. But yeah, that's a situation for another time. We'll look into that later. But yeah, so that is Azu in general. Like, it has a 50 attack, a 60 special attack, something we could also use, like, you know, Scald, Ice Beam, and stuff like that if we want to be a defensive variant. Whirlpool even. And its speed stat, while it's not the greatest, it has priority to make up for it. And it still speeds some stuff, so, you know. But we don't have to rely on Azu using speed, which is always nice. So, Let's go look into Azu's move pool and see what makes Azu so great. Aqua Jet. Jesus Christ, what's going on? I'll just plug this out. Thank you. So we got Aqua Jet, a Belly Drum, Aqua Tail for that matter. We could use that, but we're gonna have a more reliable move that it doesn't hit. It hits more often, but it does slightly less damage. But Aqua Jet, Belly Drum, even Blizzard if we want to run the defensive set that has hits more specially. Brick Break, Body Slam for Para, Encore is something we can use. Focus Blast, probably not something we're gonna rely on too much. Frustration is something we can play around with. Not gonna mess around too much with that, but we got Ice Punch, Knock Off, Ice Beam, like I mentioned earlier. It gets Hyper Voice, and Hydro Pump. Light Screen, it can be a screen mod. Play Rough, and Power Up Punch, also two other great moves. Rest, Resto Chesto, Azu, Scald, like I mentioned earlier for defensive sets. We have Substitute, Superpower, Surf, Toxic, Waterfall. Now this is the most reliable water move that Azu has and hurts like goddamn hell. I'm sure you guys know what Azu does, but this is something we can play around with. Aqua Ring, Bounce is also something we can mess around with. We have dive into the DMs. Probably gonna make that a meme sometime. Giga Impact, like just imagine a belly jumped Azu going for Giga Impact. That would be great. Hype Mean Beam, it also gets Mean Beam, not that we're going to use that though due to the special attack set. Icy Wind is a nice move. We get roll out, you know, what Meryl is known for. Strength, stuff like that. And of course Whirlpool, that's something we're probably going to play around with a little bit. And yeah, that's about what I can say about Azu. But it's an incredibly hard-hitting physical attacking mon that can also be very, like it can be very defensive. And it's something I'm really looking forward to using. So make sure to leave your guys' nickname for Azu in the comment section down below, and the best one that I see, I will use. Now next up is Mamoswine. Now what do we say about Mamoswine? Great ability in Thick Fat. Really, really strong, and also really, really bulky, with base 110 HP, 130 attack, 80 defense, 70 special attack, so its special attack is not out of the park. 60 SPDF and 80, hold on. My cough is still here, I'm still a little bit sick, but I'm a lot better than I was during the recording of my match against Jolt. So I'm getting better, I'm recovering. And of course, like I mentioned, or like I forgot to mention, the 80 base speed, which is not a bad speed tier at all. It puts Bill as a great potential scarfer. It also is a rocker, which is great to have on the team. We have Stealth Rocks somewhere right here. Here we go, Stealth Rock. It gets access to Stealth Rock, which is something we can have like as a sash lead. We can run it as a scarfer. We can run it as a mixed Pokemon with Freeze Dry. Ancient Power as well if we want to just try to be cheeky and get the boosts. Avalanche, Body Slam, Earthquake mainly, but Earth Power is also an option. We have Facade, something we might play around with. Ice Fang, Priority Ice Shard, which is amazing. Icicle Crash, a great move with 30% chance to flinch. And you know what they say about 30%, they might as well be 100, just look at Scald and Scald Burns. Or 30% is basically zero, because if you look at me and my poison chances with Poison Jab, which also is 30%, that's fucking bullshit, but I don't need to go off on that right now. It also gets Icicle Spear, which is very nice in case someone runs a Yachi Berry to fight off Mamoswine, because I can just break that Yachi and then keep on hitting, which is great. And then we get Iron Head, which is a potential freeze, or not freeze, potential flinch chance. We get Knock Off, which is, like I mentioned earlier, one of the best, most spammable moves in the game. Gets Roar in case someone wants to set up, Rock Slide, Stealth Rock like I mentioned, Stone Edge, Superpower, like Bulldoze in case speed drops, Curse, so Mamoswine can set up. We have, we get Icy Wind as well, so we can also do speed drops with this thing, which is nice. I'm just looking into some other things, like Rock Tomb is also a very nice move that Mamoswine can use. So that's just a couple of the moves that Mamoswine can do, and a couple things that Mamoswine can do that I'm looking forward to. So, what do I say? Like, Mamoswine is just a really, really nice Pokemon. I'm really glad it got back to me, because we followed like a snake format, like in the draft. And since I was first and got Manaphy, I was last in OU and got this, and then I was first again and got Azu. Then I was last in OU, and then I was first getting to this Pokemon, which we will call King Julian, in memory of Moxie Infernape and the Baltimore Braviaries, because his Infernape is called King Julian, and since it's his mascot, we're going to name it right like that. But yeah, so here we have our next mon, which is Infernape. I'm really looking forward to that, and I also need nicknames from Amazon, just in case you guys didn't get that by me not naming it. So, we got King Julian right here. And, what do we say about Infernape? It's a very, very amazing mixed mon. It's a very amazing mixed defensive mon, because you don't really know what Infernape is going to do until you scout the set. 104 attack and special attack, which makes it very unpredictable. In the sense that it can be physical or special. Just you have to almost look at your own team and see which variant of Infernape that does best, and then assume from there. 76 HP is not bad at all. Both defenses are mediocre. Like its defensive options are like mixed. It gets Will-O-Wisp, so it can kind of work around the physical defense. But the Spadef is kind of bad. It's mediocre in defensive, but that's not what Infernape's job is. It's to hit hard and do it good, like do it fast. And that's also accompanied by its really awkward speed tier of 108. So it outspeeds a good couple things, but it's lacking in the apartment of outspeeding a base 110. But that is why like Infernape is easily also one of the best Sinnoh starters. Empoleon and Torterra are cool, but Infernape is easily the best. Also beats both the starters, so there's that. Fire and Fighting, second in the line. Not much to say around there. But if we take a look at Infernape's abilities, it gets Blaze, which when it's at like 33% or less of its max HP, its fire attacks do 1.5 times damage, which is absolutely amazing. And Iron Fist, which boosts the punch-based moves by 1.2, so like Fire Punch, Ice Punch, Thunder Punch, Mach Punch, all those moves get boosted, and that is a great thing to have. And if we look at Infernape's moveset, it has Acrobatics, Blaze Kick, Brick Break. It can set up Bulk Up, it can set up Calm Mind, it can have, it can close combat, Earthquake, it can Fake Out, it can Encore, we can Fire Blast, Fire Punch, Flame Charge even to set up that speed. Flare Blitz and Flamethrower, Focus Blast, Grass Knot, Gunk Shot for them fairies, Heat Wave, Hone Claws, Low Kick, Mach Punch, like I mentioned earlier, Nasty Plot, Overheat, what a great combo right here, Poison Jab, Power Up Punch, Return, Rock Slide, Shadow Claw, Slack Off even, like I mentioned with the defensive type with Will-O-Wisp earlier. Stealth Rock, this is a rocker as well, so you know, you never know what this thing's gonna do. Stone Edge, Sub, SD, Thunder Punch, Taunt, Toxic, U-Turn, and Will-O-Wisp. As well as Aerial Ace, it gets Blast Burn, you know, just call me Alon, because that's how I win games. Counter even, we can run Counter, Dual Chop, Endeavor Mach Punch, that's the thing. Focus Punch even, Sub Focus Punch. Hyper Beam, Incinerate, Iron Tail, Punishment, Natural Gift as well. So we can play, like, there's a lot of stuff we can do with Infernape that we can play around it. Even Vacuum Wave, so we get special priority as well as physical priority, which is very nice. Like, Infernape is easily the most diverse Pokemon on my team, and I'm really happy to have this Pokemon. So next up on the list is Sceptile, Mega Sceptile to be in fact. I also need a nickname for this thing, because I really just don't know what to call this thing, man. I'm thinking Christmas ass, but that's not going to go through. So, there's that. But, let's take a moment and look at Mega Sceptile. Mega Sceptile gets Lightning Rod, which works perfectly with what these two are capable, like what, it takes away a huge weakness from these two, and even a neutrality on this guy, and it kind of weakens the job for this guy. It doesn't need to be an electric immunity every single time. We can have Sceptile who can set up on them, because a Volt Switch boosts that special attack stat that we can see on Sceptile is 145. That's amazing, man. And it also has a base 110 attack stat, which makes it a really, really good physically offensive mon as well. As you can see, it's stronger than Infernape in the physical attack stat, and its special stat is even higher than that. Defensively, this thing is not the best, but it's not meant to take a hit. It's meant to hit hard and meant to do it fast, even faster than any of these. Like, it's meant to be that one mon that comes in and just does damage. Mainly special, but we can also do physical. We'll have a look into Sceptile's move pool right here. So this thing also gets acrobatics, agility even. Not that it really needs it, but you know, it's nice to have. Brick Break, Bullet Seed even, Crunch, Dragon Stab, and Dragon Claw and Pulse, Drain Punch even. Earthquake, Energy Ball, Focus Blast, you know, generic moves. There's Focus Blast. Giga Drain for recovery, Grass Knot, Leaf Blade, Leaf Storm. There you go, finally like a really strong move. Leech Seed, Night Slash, Low Kick even, Outrage, Power Punch, Pursuit, Quick Attack, so we have some form of priority if I want to mess around with it. We get Return, Rock Slide, Seed Bomb, not really going to use Seismic Toss a lot. Thunder Punch, Synthesis, Swords Dance Substitute, X-Scissor, Toxic, Aerial Ace, Bulldoze. We get Crush Claw, which is kind of funny. Dig, Dual Chop, that's a nice move though. Dual Chop, False Swipe, no, we're going to use that. Endeavor again. Frenzy Plant if I want to do that too, call me Sawyer. Grass Whistle, my own variant of Spore, I guess, or Sleep Powder. Magical Leaf in case I never want to miss. Rock Tomb again for speed drops. Worry Seed in case someone's ability is kind of hindering me. You guys can't see it, but it's down here. It's right under Swift. But it gets Worry Seed, so in case someone has like a move that really like works against, like an ability that really works against me, I can just remove that completely and turn it into Insomnia, which is nice. One sec, I'm just gonna get a drink. Oh, it's nice to have something to drink. But yeah, so that is my OU and UU picks. So we're gonna move on over to our RU picks. Starting off RU, I was first again, but because I had school and I was out for a walk and I needed to think about RU because I don't really know what's in RU because these are the tiers that I'm really weak at, and for some reason it says UU. Let me fix the RU. There we go. In RU, I'm not the best. I don't really know what stuff does in RU, and I'm not sure what to pick. So I go through my school day, and I don't really think too much of it. But when I come back, the draft is already continued. They just skipped me, and I didn't even get to think what I wanted. So I was like, oh, for fuck's sake, shit. The fuck do I do now? So I looked around what was left. I had in mind, let me see, let me go see. Let me look at the draft real quick and see what people had. So, Hitmontop went, Virizion went, Typhlosion went, Delphox went, Aromatisse, Rotom-Mow, Torrent Greninja, no wait, Registeel, I mean, sorry, I was looking one over. That was, so Registeel, Jolteon, I think Emboar, Venusaur, Inkafactor, I think everything went, and then it was like me again, and then they decided to wait for me. And I was like, oh wow. Everything good in RU is gone already. What a lovely thing. But I remember there's one mon that I'm sort of used to that I know is in RU that is nice to have, and that is Meloetta. Now, Meloetta is a very interesting Pokemon in the sense that it can both be special and physical, and I really like that about Meloetta because Meloetta has its Pirouette form. Now, it can never be in base Pirouette form, unfortunately. We can never mess around with that, but Jesus Christ, look at this shiny, man. I wish I could use it, but it's apparently illegal. But Jesus Christ, this thing is beautiful. And then if we remove the Pirouette form, just admiring Meloetta right here. Don't mind me, Jesus Christ, they are gorgeous. But yeah, that's Meloetta real quick. So if we take a look at Meloetta's stats, 100 HP, 77 attack and defense, 128 special attack and speed, and 90 speed. That's a very good like stat distribution for a special attacker. And then we go look at Pirouette's form real quick, and its stat distribution, and all of a sudden it has 128 speed, 128 attack, 90 defense, and 77 in the special stats. Jesus, what a transformation, is all I have to say. So we'll use regular Meloetta as a base just to look at it. But if we go take a look at its move pool, Acrobatics, Brick Break, and all that stuff, all the physical moves you see here are very useful for Pirouette form. But to have Pirouette form, we need to use this move to change it. And if we switch out, it's back to Aria form, which is kind of unfortunate. But we get Relic Song, which has a 10% chance to sleep, with its ability Serene Grace, which makes that 20% chance. We also get, like, for Aria form, we get Calm Mind, Dazzling Gleam, Energy Ball, Focus Blast. I'm just gonna throw those out right now. Calm Mind, Psychic, Substitute, Focus Blast. That road to 6-0 A-Drive. No, I'm just kidding. Don't burn me with your torches and stuff. I was just joking. I was making a reference to Christian's game in the UCL because that was kind of funny that since A-Drive missed his Mega Horn and Christian landed his 2 Focus Blasts, he managed to 6-0, and I was happy for him because he's my friend and he's doing well. Don't think of me like that. I'm just trying to be funny. But yeah, so anyways, we have Hyper Voice, Knockoff, which still is just a great move. We get Magic Coat, so in case we have like a Sticky Web user or something, we get Magic Coat on that. We have Psychic, like I mentioned, Psy Shock, Relic Song to switch forms, Shadow Ball, Signal Beam, Thunder and Thunderbolt, Thunder Wave even, Toxic, Trick. And for the Pirouette form, we get like Acrobatics, Brick Break, Close Combat, Drain Punch, Facade, Fire Punch, Frustration in return. It gets Heal Bell, regardless of form. Probably going to use Heal Bell in Aria form a lot more. Hone Claws, Ice Punch, Knockoff, Low Kick, Power Up Punch, Quick Attack, Return, Shadow Claw, Stone Edge, Thunder Punch, U-Turn, and Zen Headbutt. So it gets a lot of good moves, as well as Charge Beam, Double Team if I really want to use that. I don't know if that's allowed or not. We get Fling, which is always nice, you know, like Fling, Toxic Orb, or whatever. Focus Punch, Giga Impact, just looking at stuff. Gravity, I think we can do something fun with that. Last Resort, in case we use our moves, we can just use our moves, and then bam, hard-hitting move right there, that stab. Payback, Magic Room, which is kind of fun. What's that other room move? It's Trick Room, Magic Room, and Wonder Room, or Wonder, or something like that. I think yeah, Wonder Room. For all 5 turns, all defense and SPDF stats switch, which is kind of fun. We can use that to our advantage with our team. Teeter Dance, if I want to be an asshole. Work Up, stuff like that. So, Meloetta, we can have a lot of fun with this thing. I imagine that we can have a lot of fun with Meloetta. Hold on. Next up, after the draft went back to me, and I think I just got to pick again 3 mons because they worked themselves back to me again, or something like that. I don't know. I think I picked my mon, and then it was me again. And then, since I was first in the second, I drafted my 3rd mon, and then I was kind of done with Argy for a while. So, drafted Golbat, because I needed hazard removal. And Golbat gets Defog. So I decided to draft that. And, there's not a whole lot to say about Golbat. It's incredibly bulky with the EVLI. It gets the Infiltrator ability, which is really nice. It also gets Inner Focus, so it doesn't get flinched. But Infiltrator, so it can break past subs, reflects, light screen, safeguard, and miscellaneous stuff like that. And what more to say about Golbat? It has decent attack stat at 80 and special attack stat at 65. It's not meant to do damage. It's more so just there to get rid of hazards and stuff. Occasionally go for Brave Bird. It gets Super Fang, which is a nice move to just weaken down my opponents. Confuse Ray if I want to be that guy. Hyper Hypnosis to put people to sleep. Ominous Wind in case I get the setup. I could go for Natural Gift, but that kind of removes some of Golbat's bulk. It's a decently fast mon at base 90, and it has nice bulk rally for an Eviolite user with 75 HP, 70 defense, 75 SPDF, and a decently usable attack stat at 80, where we can like take advantage of that with, say, Brave Bird and U-Turn, I guess. I swear to God, you got Poison Fang. I guess that goes under here, I guess. Maybe, yeah. Poison Fang. So we get a 50% chance to Toxic the opponent instead of using regular Toxic. But yes, that's Golbat. Next up, I drafted another Poison type. Poison Dark type, in fact, being Drapion. Now with Drapion, it gets Battle Armor, so it can never be critted. Sniper, so if this Pokemon strikes a crit, it will go back to the old version of crits. And Keen Eye, which we will never use. But yeah, so there's Drapion. It gets it's really good defensive Pokemon, decently fast with decent attack stat. It gets agility in Swords Dance. I know it gets Aqua Tail, Brick Break, just moves right here. They're pretty common. Earthquake, Crunch, Facade, Knockoff, of course, Night Slash, Poison Jab, Pursuit, Return. Yeah, I'm not quite sure what I'm gonna name you. I'm gonna figure that one out on myself. I'm probably gonna just be generic with Golbat. If you guys have a better name, feel free to let me know. Those that I don't nickname, you guys are fully free, but I'm not gonna include this or Steelix, but we'll get to that later. So we have Fire Fang, just nice moves right here, like Pursuit as well as the Pursuit Trapper, Rock Slide, Shadow Ball, gets Sludge Bomb even, Swords Dance, Toxic Spikes, which is a really nice thing, X-Scissor, stuff like that, Whirlwind even, very nice moves to have. Thing about Draft Beyond, it's a nice mod. I don't know how I'm going to utilize it quite just yet, but we'll look back into Draft Beyond a little bit later. So, NU comes around, and I'm last. Just like in UU, I'm last there, and then then I get 2 picks, and then I'm last again. So I finished the draft. So I start off with Mesprit. Mesprit is, in my opinion, one of the, it's one of my favorite Pokemon from NU. Just because of its wide coverage, and if you look at its stats, 80, 105, 105, 105, 105, 80. That's an incredible stat distribution. It is a phenomenal mixed Pokemon. It's a great wall. It gets access to a lot of good defensive moves as well as offensive moves. And if we just take a look at its coverage. Acrobatics, Blizzard, Calm Mind, Dazzling Gleam, Energy Ball, Extrasensory, Facade, Fire Punch, Frustration, Grass Knot, Healing Wish, Hidden Power, Ice Beam, Ice Punch, Knockoff, Light Screen, Magic Coat, Power Punch, Protect, Psychic, Side Shock, Reflect, Rest, Return, Shadow Ball, Signal Beam, Sleep Talk, so Rest Talk, Stealth Rock, Substitute, Thunder, Thunderbolt, Thunder Punch, Thunder Wave, Toxic, Trick, U-Turn, and Zen Headbutt. Charge Beam, just to look at some things here. Copycat, that could be funny. Endure, Future Sight, see what else I got. Imprison, so I can have Stealth Rock Imprison and make sure that rockers don't get their rocks up. That would be kind of fun. Lucky Chant, so we don't get critted. Let's see. Natural Gift, Rain Dance, Recycle, Roleplay, Sandstorm, if I want to be that guy. Skill Swap, we can probably use that a little bit, we can use that a bit to our advantage with the Skill Swap. So we got that, and yeah, Mesprit is really nice though, like I mentioned, with its great defensive options and offensive options. I really like Mesprit. I'm very happy that I got it, that it stuck around until it got to me. So, next up we got Gourgeist. And we didn't just get Gourgeist Super, no. We got all of them. So, in VPL, if you draft a mon with multiple forms, that falls under the same Pokemon technically. They have the same stat distribution, not speaking Rotom Heat, Rotom Wash, Rotom Mow, etc. Because they are different forms with different abilities and different typings. Not different abilities, but different typings and different moves and stuff like that. But something like Gourgeist. If you draft Gourgeist, like I did, I didn't only get Gourgeist Super, or Small, or Large, or Regular. I got all 4 of them, so I can play around with this if I want to use Gourgeist. This forces my opponents to prep for 4 extra Pokemon on top of my other 11. Because I have Small, Large, Regular, and Super, which is going to be a lot of fun to play around with. Because maybe one week I want a speedy defensive attacker, or another week I want a really slow hard hitter, or maybe I want to meet at the middle because I need to outspeed something but not everything, and I can play around with the middle stage. Or maybe I just need to outspeed a base 60 or whatnot, and I feel like I want to use Gourgeist Large, which has the hilarious speed stat of base 69. I didn't even notice that. That's kind of funny. Base 69. I'm so immature, Jesus Christ, but that's never going to leave me. And as well, Gourgeist gets one of the greatest abilities in this format. Frisk. Haha, Undertale reference. But Frisk. It's a really nice ability, because on switching, I can scout out what type of set my opponent is using. Like, I can look at the Pokemon, I can see what item it is, and from there I can mess around and figure out what type of what type of set that Pokemon is. So say for example, I'm just gonna pick out a random opponent in the draft. Say I'm playing Trip, and I bring in Gourgeist on a Snorlax, and I see a Chesto Berry. I see that's a Resto Chesto Snorlax. Or maybe it's like Rest Sleep Talk with Curse. I do not know, but I know I can work a little bit more around what type of set that Pokemon is, and I can play around with it. If I see Black Sludge on Nidoqueen, I know it's more of a defensive variant than an offensive one, and I can play around with that. So it's very nice to have a mon like Gourgeist that can scout out what set a Pokemon is before even seeing what it does. I'm very happy about that. So I'm going to take a quick moment and look at some of the moves that Gourgeist like to use. Destiny Bond, Bullet Seed, Disable, Dark Pulse, Energy Ball, even Explosion, Fire Blast, Focus Blast, Foul Play, Giga Drain, Gyro Ball for Super, for example, because it's very slow, Magikarp, Pain Split, Psychic, Rock Slide, Seed Bomb for its offensive typing, Shadow Sneak, Shadow Ball, Sludge Bomb, Sleep Talk. I'm really sorry about the background noise, but they're yelling outside. I don't know what it's about. Substitute, Synthesis, Toxic, Will-O-Wisp, Trick. Really nice solid Pokemon right there, and especially since we get all the forms and Sub-Leech Seed, that shit destroys teams, man. I'm sorry, that shit destroys teams, and I'm really happy about the fact that we got Gourgeist. And guys, just look at this shiny. It's so gorgeous. I used to have a really boring name for Mesprit, but I'm not going to use it because I don't really know what to call it. So you guys need to help me out from RU and below, really. I have a sheet over here, I think, actually, where I gave some of them some names. I called this thing, really boringly, Spoopy. Literally just Spoopy. Well, yeah, I have a name for Melowet, actually. It's Faint Bed. Sorry about that. So yeah, that's Gourgeist. Next up is Joey's jawline. Look at that Steelix, man. Look at that jawline. But yeah, Steelix, sturdy and sheer force. Two great abilities. Defensive. Jesus Christ. Spadef, terrible. Attack decent, speed absolute shit. Quickly run through it. A Totemize can be useful, but it needs a lot of speed to be even like able to catch up to some of the other things. Ancient Power, Aqua Tail, Body Slam, Crunch, Dark Pulse, Dragon Pulse, really. Dragon Tail for phasing outside of Roar. Double Edge in association with its rocket ability. Earthquake, Explosion from Steelix really hurts. Flash Cannon, Heavy Slam, Ice Fang, Iron Head, Rock Blast, Rock Polish, Rock Slide, Stealth Rocker, it's another rocker, Stone Edge, Substitute, Toxic, stuff like that. I mean, that's what it does. But yeah, so that is the 12 mons. But as you guys can see on the background picture, there's a Regirock there. There's a Zoroark. What's up with that? So I swapped out some Pokemon, as you can see right here. And the VPL, if you didn't use your snipe action, like I didn't, you have the option to upgrade a Pokemon from its respective tiers. So if I scroll down right here, past Ubers, past RU. So we go to RU. We see Drapion is there. I'll scroll down so you guys can see too. So Drapion is RU. Now if you didn't use your snipe action, you're allowed to upgrade into the borderline above. And as you can see, Zoroark is right here. And so I did. I upgraded Get Over Here, which was the name for Drapion because it's a Scorpion from Mortal Kombat. It says Get Over Here, and it's a Pursuit Trapper. Really bad pun, I know, but I got rid of it and I got a mon that I'm a lot more familiar with. Chelsea the Zoroark, one of the MVPs from Season 2 of the MPL. Look at it, I love this shiny, man. It's so nice. So look at it real quick. 105 speed, 105 attack, 120 special attack. It's all we really need to look at. A really good mixed attacker that can really throw some opponents off guard. And we have Calm Mind, Dark Pulse, Extra Sensory, Flamethrower, Focus Blast, Foul Play, even Grass Knot, Knockoff, Low Kick, Hyper Voice, if we want to be that guy. Nasty Plot, Night Slash, Pursuit. So we got one Pursuit, Trapper for another. Shadow Ball, Shadow Claw, Sludge Bomb, Sucker Punch, Swords Dance, Taunt, Toxic, U-Turn, Trick, Aerial Ace, Fling, in case you guys remember the Week 5 match of Season 2, where I brought Fling, Fling Toxic Orb, Fling Toxic Orb Zoroark to Toxic the Mega Sableye that T-Train had on his team, that I picked up the set from not JYT Gamer, but SV Dragonites, who used that against Jordy or Jokalisk in Season 1 of the MPL with his Dusknoir, which was a brilliant plan because Sableye just kind of caught that Toxic Orb and got poisoned, and that was beautiful. Sorry, I needed a drink right there. Jeez, this is a 40-minute long video. I'm sorry, guys. I'm gonna run through this quickly. So, we have a Zoroark right here. You guys have seen me use Zoroark in the past. You guys know what it does. I'll play around with it a little bit, see what we can do, have some fun with it, and I'm really looking forward to use Zoroark. It's gonna be a lot of fun for me. I feel like to use a mon that I'm very familiar with, and yes, that is Zoroark. And then we also get a couple swap outs. We get 3 swap outs and an upgrade. And on the swap outs, I decided to only use one of them. I swapped out Joey's Jawline for the one, the only, the big boy man, the Regirock. Now, if you guys remember Regirock from TBU Season 3, our one season in the TBU, and I feel like we used Regirock pretty solidly, to be honest. If I go take a look at his record when I started using it, I feel like I used it pretty decently well, if I'm gonna say so myself. Oh, gee, I didn't save. Why did I not save the TBU to... Oh, wait, maybe because the season is done. And I didn't think I would look at the TBU sheet again. But I'm gonna take a quick look at the TBU sheet. I said I would make this quick, but I didn't have this prepared. So, let's go look at my team and how bad I did and stuff like that, because we went, surprisingly enough, we went 3-5, but Regirock, we brought it to 4 games, and we won 2 of those because of Hazard. Like, Hazard was a huge part. Regirock never got any kills, but that's not what Regirock is meant to do. It's meant to be support, to set up hazards, well, set up Stealth Rock and stuff, but it was a really nice solid mon for us. It was a really nice defensive wall that just kind of took hits and weakened stuff. Because if there was a support award, Regirock would easily have taken that, because Regirock had so much support on my team throughout the season. So that was just great. So we have Regirock, as I mentioned. He gets mainly, oh shit, we're over here already. Like I mentioned, he gets Stealth Rock. So we have 3 rockers on this team, I think. If I look over at my team, we have Jimmy, the Memo Swine. We got Memo Swine. We have Mesprit, and we have Regirock. And Infernape. Forgot about that. That's 4 rockers, which is nice. And we have hazard removal in the ways of Golbat and Defog. So we'll look into some stuff, but I think this is the team we'll stick with. We got Toxic, Thunder Wave, so nice supportive moves. Superpower, just for hard hitting. Stone Edge for stab. Rock Polish, in case I want to be that guy. Playoff MV's dog fan. Ice Punch, Iron Head, stuff like that. Fire Punch, Explosion, Earthquake, Drain Punch. Regirock is a very one-dimensional poke, but the same goes for the Steelix. And I feel like, just based on typing, I got a better pickup with Regirock than I got for Steelix. Because Steelix, if it was a pure Steel type, I would not have switched it out. But since it is a Steel Ground type, it adds on so many more weaknesses that I just don't want to deal with, you know? Like, it's sad to say, but I just don't want to deal with those extra weaknesses that Steelix gets, because, you know, when you have Regirock, it's just, you don't want to deal with those extra weaknesses, because, let's see, they're both weak to water. Steelix is weak to fire. Regirock resists fire. Regirock is weak to grass, Steelix resist. They're both weak to fighting. You are immune to electric, while you're not. Like, there's a couple of things that I want to like. I'm just gonna get up. Let's use Cerebi because they stop weaknesses, don't they? Pretty sure they do. No. Who's calling me? Who's calling me? Said I was recording. Pokemon DB. Pokédex /Steelix. And then we copy paste the entire link and replace it with Regirock. You guys can see this, but I'm quickly gonna go over it. They both resist normal. Steelix is weak to fire, Regirock resists that. Regirock and Steelix are both weak to water. Steelix is, of course, immune to electric and has a neutrality to grass. None of them are weak to ice, but they're both weak to fighting. Steelix is immune to poison, while Regirock is resisting poison. They're both weak to ground. They both resist fighting or flying. They both, well, Regirock now resists Psychic Bug, Rock, Dragon, Steel, and Fairy, while Regirock is weak to Steel, and everything else is neutral. So, some can say that I lost some, but if you look at the stats as well, Regirock has a lot higher of an HP stat with base 80, while Steelix has base 75. Regirock has a lot higher SPDF stat at 100 over Steelix 65. Special attack's not something we're going to use anyways. 100, 85. 200, they both have the equal defensive, and Regirock is slightly faster. So, losing on some resistances and 2 immunities, I don't know if I'm too upset about it, because I do pick up a lot, like I pick up some, like, I don't know, some versatility, I guess, and a lot more bulk in that sense. So yeah, I'm very happy with the Regirock. But yeah, that is the full overall team. So if I go here, I'm going to clear the clipboard, I'm going to go to the RU picks, get rid of Drapion, and insert Zoroark. I'm going to get rid of you and put in Regirock. And for that matter, I'm going to give you the name that you rightly deserve, which is Chelsea. And I'm going to give you the name that you rightly deserve, which is Big Boy Man. And then I'm going to make you a female because that's also what you deserve. So, that is the entire squad right here. Manaphy, Thundurus, Azu, Mamoswine, Infernape, Sceptile. Jesus Christ, how long have I been recording for? Meloetta, Golbat, Zoroark, Mesprit, Gourgeist, and Regirock. That is the full team. Tell me what you guys think in the comment section down below. And I am hyped to get the season started. The first match will go up, let's see. Let me check the schedule real quick. The first match will go up somewhere between, because we don't have a specific upload date, we can choose ourselves. So we'll go up somewhere in between the 29th and the 29th of August and the 4th of September. So we'll see how that goes. But yeah, so that has been this week. So thank you guys, or this has been the draft analysis. I hope you guys are hyped. Tell me what you think of the team in the comment section down below. And if you enjoyed this, make sure to hit that like button down below, because your support is greatly appreciated. I'm sorry this took so long, but if you enjoy this type of content and league type format specifically, I do a lot of that here on the channel. I'm planning on starting an LP soon, but I need to get some graphics done. And then we will be starting a LP on the channel of a game that I really enjoy. So with that, I'm going to get out of here. Thank you guys for watching. Leave a like if you enjoyed. Tell me what you think of the team in the comment section down below. Subscribe if you're new. We're on that road to 500. And I will talk to you guys next time. Peace!